So we finally make it to the series finale, the epic conclusion and everything of Samurai Jack Season 5 and the Ultimate Series finale. And after giving a couple days to think this through, I have to say this is the most cliched, most predictable, most entertaining as all hell, nostalgic fun finale I have ever seen. The episode begins with one of the scoutsman's daughters rushing back to her home village, and it starts off with many of Jack's allies gathering around their televisions to watch the live broadcast in Aku's lair, which begs the question why certain villages have TVs. What? We're just trying to do this for the sake of the plot? Okay. After trolling everybody with the original show's opening monologue, complete with Mako's dialogue, and I laughed at that like, oh god, that was so funny and awesome. And Aku reveals that he has captured Jack and plans to execute him on television. And it was just so hilarious and so funny that I really can't complain about anything about this. This is 100% what Aku would do. However, due to the fact that we hear Mako's voice and the new Aku by Galad, what was his name? Greg Baldwin voicing it, you could really tell the difference between past Aku and future Aku and current Aku we have. So, Aku finally prepares to kill the samurai, and oh god, they really did this. The whole Aku doesn't know how to end this. He doesn't know how to kill him. He finally has him where he wants, and he wants to kill him. And Jack tries to beg Ashi, who's still under the control of Aku, to resist. And Ashi, on the surface, isn't responding, but she is responding inside, trying to fight back. And afterwards, Aku finally decides that Ashi should be the one to kill him, and decides to go with the simplest of solutions. And just as Ashi is about to stab Jack, the samurai's allies break into Aku's lair and begin attacking the demon. Yeah, okay, I'm trying to wonder, how, okay, like, this isn't like some rush-based attack they just did. I'm trying to wonder, wait, how did they get all around together, come up with a plan, round up to Aku's lair, and finally attack? And how did they break through the outer layer of the building, whereas before, when the military attacked, when this coalition attacked them in a previous episode, it didn't do a thing? What? We're doing this for the sake of the plot? Okay. So, Jack seizes his chance and escapes and makes a run for his sword, only to be stopped and attacked by Ashi. Meanwhile, Aku laughs at the army's attacks as he squashes a group of blind archers on woolies, corrupting them into smaller versions of himself. Yeah, it also begs the question, where did all these other blind archers come from? Are they the children, but we don't see any women? Are they just duplicates? Yeah, that's never explained. Despite their best efforts, Jack allies are slowly overwhelmed by the clones until the scoutsman and his daughters join the fray. Jack regroups with the scoutsman, who proceeds to introduce him to his many daughters, called it, and he offers to basically have Jack marry one of them. And I like to also ask, why didn't the scoutsman ask how come Jack hasn't aged? Like, we don't know if the character knew if he is aged, that the characters knew he aged or not, because Jack seems to have been isolated from everybody and just hear stories about it. But we don't know if the scoutsman knew all along that Jack can't age. Like, we get explanation about the Celtic runes being the reason why he's able to be a ghost, but we can't get explanation for that? Okay. When Jack politely declines to offer the marry to any one of them, the scoutsman gets mad and asks him, and then Jack says that he already has found someone, and the scoutsman gets all teary-eyed and wondering who it is, and gestures to Ashi, causing the scoutsman to question Jack's taste in women. Yeah. Following a savage beating from the Robo Samurai led by the robot guys that Jack saved from a previous episode back in seasons 1 through 4, Aku goes up into the sky, and I would like to also say, yeah, even Aku knew this was over the top. Like, they're just throwing all the old most of the old characters. Like, I knew this was gonna happen, but even I knew Aku would say something like, a giant robo samurai. Really? Like, it's just so funny with Aku. So, following a savage beating from the Robo Samurai, Aku goes up into the sky and releases a rain of spikes onto the army, killing most of the combatants. At the same time, Jack is swallowed by Ashi and tries once more to get through to her, and Jack confesses his love to her, which breaks her free from Aku's control. Yeah, they did the power of love. Aku then confronts Ashi after Ashi nearly choked Jack to death, who declares Aku isn't her father. Ashi then discovers she still has Aku's powers, and after a brief battle, she fetches Jack's sword and uses her power to create a time portal to return to the point where Aku sent Jack to the future, which Aku knows his past self will soon meet his doom and then will cease to exist. The scene then returns to the final scene of episode 1 where Aku sent Jack into the future, all digitally reanimated and looking better than ever. Jack and Ashi return shortly after, 10 seconds, to Aku's surprise, and Jack proceeds to slash Aku with his sword, trapping the demon around its blade, and then Jack then thrusts his sword into the ground, finally destroying Aku in his lair and escaping with Ashi just in time. Sometime later, Jack and Ashi are about to be wed, but Ashi tragically suddenly collapses. She explains that due to Aku's death, she will die as well before fading away in his arms. A depressed Jack mourns in the forest over Ashi's passing. Suddenly, Jack sees a ladybug and is reminded that everyone can live peacefully now thanks to his efforts, looking out over the Aku-free forest. So that's pretty much what happened. Like, okay, I like how Aku, after he had tried to stop them, said, "Oh no," and I was like, Aku knew he had fucked up. But I have a lingering question. I completely forgot that Aku could create time portals, which now begs the question for me that I should have thought of this entire time throughout the entire show. Why were there all those time portals? Did Aku create them, or did some other force create them? Did the gods create them? And if Aku created them, like, I get why Aku would create them. He wants to troll Jack, he wants to mess with him. But at the same time, if he wants to kill Jack, why couldn't he just create a fake time portal that could kill Jack? Like, once Jack gets through, he dies. Wouldn't that have made more sense? Yeah. There's a lot of questions I keep wanting to get answers for, but since this is the series finale, all those questions are therefore negated because all the events that happen in the future are erased. So we see a lot of Jack's former allies come to his rescue, and in the final battle, like, we get the Blind Archers, Rothschild and his canine companions, the Ravers, the Woolies, the Robots of Andromeda. I can't pronounce some of the names. The Spartans, the Jump Good Monkey Man and his tribe, the Robo Samurai, and the Scoutsmen. And it was just nostalgically awesome. And however, Aku gets this one final laugh. He gets to basically kill Ashi since she was Aku's daughter. That same would apply to her sisters as well. So Jack lost the love of his life. And there's just a nagging problem. Like, I get the feeling that this ending is going to divide people. Like, I've seen some favorite fanfiction authors saying that they're going to rewrite their own version of the endings, how it should have ended, because I get why, because we connected more with the characters from the future than we did with the past. And therefore, Jack just, without even thinking about this, just went back in time and erased all those memories of his time with them. So, yeah. And this also shows that the tree that Jack stands under at the end of the episode is the same one Jack shows Ashi in episode XCVI. I'm trying to keep track of the Roman numerals. I've lost track on all of them. Yeah. Since Aku did not destroy it, its beauty was restored. The tree was the first place Ashi also learned of Aku's destruction. So, There is an allusion to the wedding scene where Ashi fades from existence is a reference and a direct parody in a direct copy to the end of Gurren Lagann, the anime series, where Naya fades from existence right in Simon's arms. Yeah, they did that. And there's also to somebody created a time paradox. If Jack killed Aku in the past and Ashi never existed, then she wouldn't have sent Jack and herself back into the past to kill Aku the moment he sent Jack into the future. Yeah, I'm not good with time travel physics, so I wouldn't know how to answer that. And yeah, like I said, there's some plot holes in this final epic battle, but yeah, I get the feeling that due to the fact they were only given 10 episodes as opposed to like 15 or 20, where they could have hopefully explained everything and done something much better. Yeah, it felt really rushed, and I get the feeling the ending's gonna divide people, since, like I said, like Ashi's dead, the future's been erased, the Aku future has been erased. Like I get that, like I completely forgot that Aku could create time portals, like I said. So Ashi had that same power, and I also explained how there are time portals now. So yeah, and I was also expecting all Dimago's trapped souls to also join the fight. That would have actually been awesome. uh, yeah. So, yeah. Um, this was an okay series finale. Like I knew it was gonna be a bittersweet ending. Like I knew that was gonna happen. I called it in the last thoughts video about Samurai Jack, but I also knew if they had done a happy ending with how this season was, I would have been really against that. Like, if this was between seasons 1 and 4 and they ended it like that, then I would have been okay with it. But if they did it in this season where it had a completely different tone and much darker themes, then that would not have been okay with me. So, yeah, it was a tragic ending to the show in terms of how it ended. Like, yeah. Oh man, it will be missed. Like, Samurai Jack was such a great show, and it's ending like this. Like, I know a lot of people are going to be pissed off at this because of how it ended, but yeah, at least, the creator actually managed to end it on his terms, whereas the studio probably would have never brought it back, or they would have just done it their own way without his vision, and therefore destroy everything, most likely. So at least I get the credit. I give the credit that he at least ended it on his terms. Would it have been good if they had an extra season or an extra 10 episodes in order to fill everything up, in order to like basically explain several things, explain how this and that is explained. So yeah, there's a lot of questions that never got answered. And also it is pretty much confirmed that the Guardian was dead in the episode because he doesn't show up in the final battle. So now we get this ending that ends on a symbol of hope after Jack was depressed, and yeah. So it's sad to see the show go. It really is. Like, this was an awesome series, and this was an awesome season, even if it ending felt a little rushed, and by little I mean greatly, since there were some things like I'm trying to wonder how the hell this happened. And we even got some callbacks to previous episodes like, no, jump good. And I'm like, oh boy, that was funny. So, those were my videos on Samurai Jack Season 5. And this was the series finale of Samurai Jack. This was Neo Reality Entertainment. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and donate a station for more.